What up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater. And a lot of people have been telling me that I've been focusing a bit too much on the WWE and not giving the proper amount of hate on AEW. Now, the truth is, AEW is done. I mean, let's be real, right? It's over. We knew it was going to happen, and the time is here. Now, do they still have a few years left? Of course, right? They need to be around for another 15 years for all that matters. But they're done in the sense that the experiment did not work. The underpinnings of starting AEW were that one day this company is going to attempt to rival WWE. And now the question has turned into whether TNA can rival AEW. TNA rules, by the way. Now, with that being said, the question becomes, what happened and why does it still suck? So periodically, I'll still watch AEW, right? I like wrestling, so it's easy to follow along because they only had one show. Then they added Collision, which I've never watched. I think one time I was at a hookah bar and they were showing it and I watched like the end. But I've never tuned into it. I don't know what channel it's on. The problem is, when you have too many things going on, you lose track of your goals. That's exactly what happened here. Oh, let's give CM Punk his own show. How did that turn out, cuckolds? Exactly. Now we're going to talk about the reasons why AEW is failing, which of course are also the same as the reasons as to why it sucks, right? If it didn't suck, it wouldn't fail. And if it weren't failing, it wouldn't suck. So here we are. Reason number one. A complete lack of consistency. This is reason one for one reason. And that is, it's the most important reason. You must be consistent. The only thing worthwhile in watching AEW is Edge and Christian, in my opinion. So I tune in to see what Edge and Christian have to say last week. Or at least I Googled to see what they had to do during that episode. Now, lo and behold, cucks, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see any of that in the episode, right? The truth is that nobody cares enough to put in Edge and Christian. Christian's one of the champs as far as I know. Maybe he lost, I don't know. I think he's still champion. Instead, you want me to care about Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. You have Edge and Christian, who should be on TV every week, pushing forward their feud. And instead, you don't give me that, but you give me sporadic bullshit. Now, with that being said, it is what it is. I get it. Edge and Christian, quite frankly, are not going to show up every week because they're Edge and Christian. It's really that simple. But what about people like Jungle Boy? What about people like Lexis King now, who went to AEW? Why weren't they pushed? That brings me to my second reason, which is kind of a subset of this reason. With the lack of consistency comes the lack of pushing young talent. Look at Keith Lee. They push him, he's gone. I don't even know if he's there anymore. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. But the truth is, they don't push people consistently. They don't push young people consistently. Like I just saw, to do this video, the thumbnail picture that I chose, I just Googled AEW. And I don't know if that's today. It must be today because it's February 28th. I believe that's what the picture says, cucks. It's going to be Jericho versus some guy who I've never heard of in my life. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is that all about? Why are we doing this? Chris Jericho versus Atlantis Jr. Have you lost your minds? Who in the blue hell is Atlantis Jr.? Oh, hater, he wrestles in CMMLL and AAA, AAA. I don't care, all right? I don't know who he is. Nobody knows who he is. Why not just have Jericho versus Edge? If Edge isn't doing anything, have Jericho versus Edge. If Christian isn't doing anything, have Jericho versus Christian. That might actually get not only some eyeballs in there, but the truth, cucks, is that if you do that, people that are already watching might watch next week. And might be like, oh shit, that's a pretty significant main event. Edge versus Jericho? That was a WrestleMania main event. And we get to see it for free? But no. Why? Why do that? When you can get, I just Googled it, when you can get Chris Jericho's former partner in CMLL, his son is Atlantis Jr. So now Jericho is going to fight the son of his former tag team partner that nobody's ever heard of. Nobody gives a shit. You see what I'm saying? This is the problem. Instead of taking this time and pushing, I don't know, Sammy Guevara, right? Wasn't he supposed to be one of your 4 pillars? How come he's never around? Where the hell is Darby Allin? At this point, he's only around because of his association with Sting. Otherwise, nobody gives a shit. What about MJF? He hasn't been back in like months now, right? The 4 pillars are all gone. So how are they pillars? Nobody gives a shit about any of them. They don't care enough to put any of them on the show somehow. I'm not saying, Cucks, I'm not saying, they always have to wrestle. I get it. If Jungle Boy's injured or whatever, or if Darby Allin is preparing for a big match, you don't want to expose him, MJF is like doing his thing, you can come back and cut a promo, right? It'll have the same effect this week as it will in 3 weeks. But the problem is they really think that people want to see Lionheart Chris Jericho, not versus Atlantis, but versus Atlantis Jr. The ultimate indignity of Atlantis is having his son be beaten by his tag team partner. Atlantis probably doesn't wrestle anymore, or if he does, he's like, in like an old man role. And his son probably sucks. I don't care. Maybe he's amazing. I don't care. I never heard of him. That's all I care about. The truth is that AEW is starting to feel more and more irrelevant because of people like Atlantis Jr. You will recall a video that I made at this point years ago about how AEW decided to have, I think it was Cody Rhodes versus Warhorse. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't give a shit about Warhorse. I don't know who Warhorse is. Cuckolds. And with that being said, what did they do? They kept going with the same formula. The only person that's been pushed at all in this last year, I guess you could say Samoa Joe because he's the champ now. The 2 people that have been pushed are Swerve and Christian Cage. Everybody else is just either where they were or they're completely irrelevant. Like, who knows and who cares what Adam Page is doing? I know for a fact he's not going to be the champion again. Definitely not now and probably not ever. Because he sucks. He's boring. It didn't work out. Swerve, in my opinion, is going to be champion at this point, but he shouldn't be because he sucks and he's boring. But even if you like these guys, at least show them to me. Swerve is the only one, when I turn on AEW, he's the only one that I see consistently. And of course people like him because they see him consistently. Why in the blue hell would I care about Dark Uno when Dark Uno, or Evil Uno, whatever. See, I even forgot his name, Cucks. And I have a fucking memory, man. I got the memory of a lynx. And I forgot for a second that it's Evil Uno, not Dark Uno. Because they haven't been in TV for like 8 months and nobody cares anymore. Why? Why do you have these people on the roster if you're not going to use them? Instead, why don't we see another Toni Storm promo? We get it. She's a Marilyn Monroe-esque 60s Hollywood actress. Wow, what an edgy gimmick. How does that impact anything she does? She says a few things and she's just arrogant. Her gimmick just waters down that she's an arrogant girl. Once again, the arrogant girl, she's fighting the virtuosa, another arrogant girl gimmick, right? And the whole point is, okay, great. We're going to see these 2 people that think they're better than everybody. One's a heel, one's a face. I could give a shit who wins. But don't worry. You don't have to worry about that because if you don't like that, boy, we got something good for you, AEW might say. We've got Jericho versus Atlantis Jr., the match you've been dreaming of seeing for 30 years. How would Jericho fare against his former partner's son? That's what everyone wants to see. That's the question everyone wants answered. The truth is Jericho cannot get this done by himself. Jericho is the only consistent presence of any value in this shit company. Think about it. Cody Rhodes, you can make an argument he was valuable, but he's gone, motherfucks. He's gone. CM Punk, he's gone. He didn't do anything. Daniel Bryan, every couple of weeks he'll come and he'll have like a match against Wheeler Yuta or some other Wheeler Yuta level guy. Oh, Daniel Bryan versus Daniel Garcia. Which Daniel is better? I don't care. See what I'm saying? None of these guys have moved the needle 1 millimeter. The only one keeping this company alive, in my opinion, is Jericho. And he can't do it when you put him against Atlantis Jr. You understand me? That's the problem here, Cucks. They don't even want to push new people. They don't even want to at this point. Name one AEW guy that has gotten over in AEW. Name one. Literally every person that has had any kind of success in AEW is a non-AEW guy. All of them. Kenny Omega, I'm not considering him an AEW guy. No. He's a main eventer in New Japan. A New Japan guy, a New Japan tag team, a WWE guy in Cody Rhodes. Every other WWE guy they could get their hands on has gotten some sort of a push except for Keith Lee and Miro. Why aren't they on TV? Why do I have to watch Deonna Purrazzo, who was in TNA last week? This is not TNA, cucks. And with that being said, AEW is doomed. This company needs to be sold to like anybody, like literally anybody. Maybe Vince McMahon can buy AEW and just put WWE out of business. How fucking awesome would that be? Obviously, it would make no sense. But how great would that be just conceptually? Like if he just sells all this stock and he's like, now I'm buying AEW and I'm taking over again. He would do it too, cucks. He would completely run WWE out of business because he understands wrestling. The truth is, cuckolds, and he has the money too, you know what I'm saying? The truth is, AEW is once again 1 foot in the grave, and nobody cares. The only things that have any interest and have any buzz going on are not shown consistently. With that being said, go fuck yourselves.